All right, so we good. All right, everyone, I appreciate you guys watching. It took us a little bit to go live, but we here. We got a couple of cool guys, famous people here in YouTube. So you guys want to do your intro, starting with Stone Guy?
Hey, it's Stone Guy 223. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I don't know about famous. I would say more infamous than famous.
All right, brother. What about you, General?
Well, I know you're not talking about me because I'm definitely not famous. Yeah, General Banter. And if you're out there in the audience, you probably do know me. So anyway, there it is, General Banter. Thanks.
And we also got Nick. I don't know where Nick went, but he should be back. Just real quick, if you put in comments and you're in different like G Plus and all that, if you want to go into the YouTube platform, because I can see the comments there versus comments everywhere, I won't be able to track that if you actually want me to answer your comment. But I definitely appreciate everybody watching. All you guys in the last couple of days, we know is being a lot of things related to ISIS and all the things that they're doing, and you guys know we've been talking about a pretty bad terrorist groups that is committing a bunch of murder, crime, and a bunch of stuff. So anyways, I got a couple of videos on my channel. Some of you guys been watching it, and I appreciate you guys watching my videos. But I guess the first question, well, just real quick, we got Nick. You back?
I'm here, sir.
You want to do your quick intro?
Nick with Practically Tactical.
Yeah, you're the famous one. That's what I was talking about.
No, well, last time I was on, I announced I was starting my rap career, so that's going well. For those that didn't catch it, my rap name is Lil Fatter. So expect, huh?
I said a fat white rapper. That's
yeah. I'm looking to really dominate that segment of the market. So debut album will be coming out soon.
Are you gonna have like a playlist in your channel with all your videos?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna make it rain on all my videos.
All right. So pretty much we all know about ISIS, and this is a group that been killing and beheading people and doing a bunch of horrible things. But again, the only course of action. First of all, the course of action that I see from this country is the whole airstrikes. And the first thing that I wanted to ask you guys, do you guys think that we should get involved in this conflict? Stone Guy, what do you think?
I don't believe we should, honestly. I mean, it's kind of a. I understand we're kind of in a tough situation, being America. We seem to always be the mediator and the one that's going to step in and stand up for the smaller, weaker countries. But to me, we just insert ourselves into too many situations that don't really pertain to us. I mean, these people have been fighting each other for hundreds of years, and it's just, to me, it's a futile attempt at trying to bring peace to those regions, and I think it's better that we stay out of it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Nick?
Well, it is. I think what you have to decide is it's a moral dilemma. So, do we stand by and do nothing and let them do whatever that they've done, like someone said the past 2,000 years? Or does at a certain point, does the moral dilemma aspect, okay, well, more and more people are going to be killed. At a certain point, do we have to step in? So I think this becomes, especially if it continues to grow, it becomes a moral dilemma. But here's the other aspect is, okay, then we have to commit our own troops and lives and all this stuff. So I look at it this way, is we either have to get involved or not. And when I say get, mean like just airstrikes or doing hashtag Twitter campaigns or any of that crap. You either have to just go all in and wipe them out, or we just stay out of it forever. But I think the number one thing is I think it's a moral dilemma. I mean, you see the atrocities going on, and it gets to that point of you have to decide is it better to kill people to stop them or not get involved and allow their killings to happen? So in the end, I think it's a moral dilemma for me. it's a hard one because I don't want to lose any more friends. I don't want to send any more people over there. But as a person, as a Christian, I can definitely see to where the atrocities are happening to people, and I want it to be stopped. Honestly, I'm on the fence. I don't know. I'm just not.
No,
I don't think I can commit to anything right now.
I think everyone should be on the fence in a way because, and I'm gonna say what I think in a bit, but as a human, and just like you say, as a Christian man, you should want to help people. I mean, that's just the good person instinct or whatever you want to call it. You should want to help people. Now the question is, if me helping is gonna cost more than what I'm gonna gain out of that. But yeah, like I think every American, not every American, but most of Americans want to feel that way in some kind of way. Or most of the human people, like we want to help. But the question is, who's supposed to help? That's where I'm going from, and I've been talking about it. I think we have the duty to help them, and they're a bad group, and we need to go up there and terminate those guys. But is it a fight, or is it somebody else time to step up? And that's kind of what I went in my video, because I mean we just can't do it. I don't think we could do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. The San Marines Army down there, we would take care of business. But what is it going to cost us? And why somebody else is not stepping up? Like, look, why is it Canada not stepping up and going out there and assuming the mission, not just sending 100 guys, for instance, like actually assuming the mission. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm just picking you because you from Australia, any other country. Why are they not taking over that mission when we are already in Afghanistan, supposedly fighting the bad guys there? You know what I'm saying? I guess that's my. What do you think, Luke?
Well, I mean, I look at it a couple different platforms. Number one, I want to make sure the intelligence that we have, okay, even as us as civilians, so we can actually have some kind of opinion on it and let it be reliable. Are we getting fed the right information from the media, first and foremost? The government is feeding us, whatever the case is, or feeding to the media. That's my number one concern. But having said that, let's just go on what we're getting, okay? And if we go on what we're getting as to be absolutely true, and it's good intel, and we can act on that good intel, because more and more I question that. Even in a policing platform, sometimes they get it wrong, and I'll speak to that point in a quick second. But I like what I like the fact that the moral situation has kind of popped up in that, because it is. I sit on the fence as well in that. My thing is this, and I'll tie this in with the policing attitude. Policing is supposed to be a proactive instead of reactive. We know because of the fact that we're 20 calls behind in that, it's more of a reactive scenario. And you can't be everywhere at once. But in this particular case, can we actually be proactive and stop the dying, you know what I mean, the killing, and before it happens any further than what we have? Can we just sit back and morally think, well, you know what, it's not our problem, not our circus, not our monkeys, okay? But I don't know. But then there's another part of me that says, hey, you know what? We go out to the 200-mile mark in the ocean. We park our ships. We wait. We put more resources in, waiting for the terrorists to try to strike against us here. We keep our intel moving. We wait for other people to jump on the bandwagon where it's closer to their home. But the other thing is they're actually going out there in the media and stating to people that we know, they've pulled people from the United States and Canada. Okay, the terrorists have got people to come over and recruited them. But they're also saying, for you who are not going to come over here, find any American, find any Canadian you can, kill them any way you can. Now, that's pretty damning. So what do you do? I mean, that's pretty freaking scary. Now, what JH6 said, well, why isn't Canada stepping in? Well, a little bit of it is because we're not sure how much money we have to put forth. NATO said, you know what, Canada, we want you to double what you've put in. Okay? Now, I think NATO should be doing the right thing. If you gather more and more people, I'm not going in by myself, and I don't think U.S. should go in by themselves. However, when you have the means to help, you should help, right? I mean, because you can, you should. So, like I said, it's such a mixed feeling on it. But again, I say the same thing. I don't want to see anybody else I know die. and it better not be for nothing. It better not be for what everybody else has died for in the past. Ask yourselves, why did we go into Iraq the first time? And
Well,
what
yeah.
did we leave behind?
Well, and think about it, and Jarhead could probably speak to this directly, but I mean, and this is, let me preface this statement by saying well, for those people that know me, know I'm, I come from a military background. I support our U.S. military wholeheartedly. I, you know, but the problem I have is just like with Afghanistan, and Jarhead, correct me if I'm wrong, because you have firsthand experience and not buddies that have come back. I've lost friends over there, and throughout that whole campaign, from when it started to where we sit now, yeah, we've done a little bit, but as in the big picture, we really haven't accomplished anything, in my opinion. And a lot of the guys, that's kind of the general consensus I'm hearing from a lot of the soldiers, is that they went over there, they fought, they bled, they died, they built, they took over cities and built them back up, and they got schools built and this and that, and as soon as they left,
Yep.
the Taliban came and destroyed it again, took back over, and they found themselves in the same position they were in before we came and what's that word? Not and came and not necessarily freed them. There's a word I'm searching for. I can't think of, but it's like, why do we do? What good did it do? I mean, we've lost so many soldiers for what? I don't know. That's just kind of the way I look at it. It's like when you said General Banner, it better not be for nothing. Well, I don't think there's ever going to be a true. You're never going to know what it was for, because just like the Afghanistan campaign, it's like we're still over there. We've spent years, over a decade there, and we really haven't done anything.
Yep. And that's. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I was gonna say, let's say we get involved. Let's go down the road here and say, let's say we get involved, and let's say it becomes a full-on us going into Syria and that area, Iraq, whatever, and pardon my French, but we'd kick their ass. I think you can vouch for that there, JH. And let's say we stop and we destroy ISIS, hurt Al Qaeda, whatever, and we come back. We stopped them, but what? I don't think no matter what we do, let's say we didn't even lose anybody. What did we gain? What did we accomplish? I think if we get involved, the only thing we can hang our hat on is say, number one, we killed a lot of bad guys. Number two, we stopped bad guys from controlling parts of the world. I think that's the most positive gains we could have from getting involved. Mm-hmm. And I would say, I guess, saving innocent lives. I'll phrase that as that would be the best outcome, as we save a bunch of innocent lives that ISIS would have killed. That's it. It's not like we can walk away and say, and we either conquered any riches or brought back anything. The only thing we could hang our hat on would be that, and that's it. So the question is that worth it? But then again, there's that other aspect of, let's not get involved and we watch thousands and thousands of people innocently get murdered by them.
Well, I think Luke says something good. I mean, we definitely don't have all the intel. We don't have we don't have all the information to make a decision. But something that is gonna do things. First of all, Stone was talking about going out there and fighting and then losing the cities. That happened in Fallujah, 2004, and I was there. Never went inside the city, but I know a lot of Marines that went house by house. I mean, this guys went house by house looking for the bad guys. And the moment that it started, we hit 2 car bombs. Our squad, our patrols hit 2 car bombs. We hit a 107 round. We hit several IEDs. We were in several confrontations, with the bad guys. And 10 years later, we lost Fallujah, and we lost it. and there was some report saying that the community, the people there, didn't even want to talk to the government, because the government were abusing those guys to the point that they are like siding with terrorists, like prefer to hang around with terrorists than being a good member of society, because the government is straight up abusing those guys. So, you know, again, this is what, this is 2014. This is a few months ago, and we fought there for 10 years. We trained those guys. We told them everything that we knew, pretty much, a lot of things that we knew, and they're still abusing their own people, because it's the whole religious, you know, Shias versus Sunnis, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. So the other thing I wanted to say is, and I go back to like, why us? You know, Jennifer Young was talking about other countries around Syria. Why doesn't those countries take care of business? Like, there is a video now in CNN, ISIS in a straight up firefight right next to Turkey. Like, that is a threat to Turkey. Why don't you take care of business, Turkey? Why do you need us? You know, based on the fact, I'm just saying, based on the fact that we are in Afghanistan. If we're not in Afghanistan, I get it. You know, maybe we go and fight. But we already have thousands and thousands and thousands of Marines and Army and Navy and Air Force in Afghanistan. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to shift the war into a different country? That we're going to be there for another 15 years. You know, we got 22 guys killing themselves a day. We got guys with PTSD, guys with TBI, and don't even get me started on the VA. You know, I went to the VA, and the guy told me I had 200 people in front of me. And when I asked for an appointment, they were like, man, we cannot even give you an appointment. But now they're talking about, oh, we fixed the whole VA mess. No, they didn't. I got 200 people in front of me, and they couldn't even give me an appointment. I left without an appointment. So, I mean, in my case, I'm okay. It's not like I'm going to do something stupid. But what about if that would have been that guy with extreme PTSD, and would have been like, oh, you don't want to give me an appointment, go home and kill themselves.
Right. Yeah, that's
22 times a day. It happens.
Well, that's the thing, man, and that's why I said I don't want it to come across like I'm against the military and against what we're doing as a nation. But on the fact of the matter is, that our government puts our soldiers out there to be used for a certain mission or a certain agenda, and then they're kind of forgotten about. And that's what I can't stand. I mean, it's, you know, when our government puts the lives of our soldiers in jeopardy to fight a political battle, or to fight a battle of an agenda for oil, or political control, or just political posturing amongst the heads of whoever, and they use our soldiers as pawns to play this game. To me, that's not what our military was intended for. And to me, it's an outrageous abuse of our soldiers. And then, like you said, then when they come back, the war's over, that campaign is over, and now you've got soldiers that are all, you know, messed up from things they've had to endure, and our government turns the back on them. And so I feel like this ISIS thing is setting the stage for another situation to exploit our troops and put them in a really shitty situation.
And here's something that I thought was pretty interesting too. And I'm not one of the, well, maybe I am, but anyways, like, look, was General Venter, you were just saying about information, and airstrike Syria, and the next day, and you know, I think I'm not an expert, and I'm not the smartest guy out there, but I know a little bit about terrorists and terrorist attack and terrorist activity, because that's what I did. That was part of my training, and you know, and believe it or not, I got a couple of college degree on that. I don't even know how. I guess thank you to the GI Bill. But anyways, the next day that we bombed our place, we had this new terrorist group. I don't even remember the name, and these guys are supposed to be like the top guys of the Al Qaeda, the top bomb makers, and then making bombs to attack the United States. So the day before, it was nothing related to those guys. We just bombing Syria because ISIS is there, and we're trying to destroy the infestation and all that stuff. And then the next day that we bomb them, and they get criticized for going into the country that did not ask for our help. So pretty much we went into a country and bombed them. Now we come out with this thing that there's a terrorist group that was planning an attack against the United States. I just thought that was pretty iffy, man.
I totally thought that was iffy. That really, I thought that was iffy. And the other thing is that they were saying in two different sources that I read that they couldn't actually confirm that there was an actual threat. They're just basically stating, though someone stated there was, but there actually wasn't any confirmation. Maybe someone can correct me on that. But yeah, I thought that was a little hinky too. I'll be honest with you.
And it goes back to the whole. Look, I learned this in the military, and you guys probably know this because this is just a professional thing. You just don't talk bad about your boss or your group, especially to the lower guys. You know, if you got an issue with somebody, especially in the Marine Corps, I was a staff sergeant. If I got an issue with somebody higher than me, I talked to that guy. I never spoke bad. Versus I know the supervisor, if you want to put it that way. Oh, I know the sergeant, I know the staff sergeant, because it was unprofessional. I mean, there is so much unprofessional aspects going on in this government and this administration. Like even the generals, they didn't agree with the president, and there's like this fight back and forward, and I'm like, man, can you guys fix your issues inside an office and don't let the other country SEALs looking like fools? I don't know if that's something just. Maybe it's a pet peeve of mine, but I just
it's lack of leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say maybe a good way to review here this instance is look back from the last 15 years of the stuff that we've been involved in. I guess the goal of Afghanistan was what? To destroy Al Qaeda. Is that done?
No.
So what did we accomplish? Other than sending a bunch of troops on vacation, a deadly vacation.
And you know what? And maybe you guys remember, but I enlisted in the Marine Corps in 2001, and right the next day or the next week, something like that. Don't quote me exactly on the dates. I'm sure some troll is gonna go and pull my DD-214, and so don't quote me on my dates. But September 11 happened. And if you guys remember in the news, the Taliban was in CNN, Taliban everywhere saying, yeah, we have Bin Laden and we don't care what you're going to do. We're not going to give in to you. All this. But some kind of way, we ended in Iraq. I always thought that was kind of, why did the Afghanistan say, yeah, we got him and we're not going to give in to you? Why did we went to Iraq? I mean, it just didn't make sense to me.
If you listen to, all the conspiracy theories, I suppose, it was basically because it was about money. I mean, this was about an exchange on the dollar, essentially. Now, I have a tendency to believe that because it kind of supports what you're saying. Why, in fact, did we go from one country to another country when the threat was allegedly in Afghanistan? So why did we go to Iraq?
Yeah.
And we could have solved Iraq in the first Desert Storm.
Yeah.
That could have been done with.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear Americans say that because I thought our little niche of people up here were the only ones who thought that.
Well, you know what? And here's the thing. We have this smart people, because they're extremely smart, working up there, and I'm being sarcastic. But the only course of action that we have is, and I see it coming, and I said it already. You guarantee they're going to be talking about putting military guys on ground pretty soon. It's coming. You can't believe what Obama said. Remember, he told us that we could keep our insurance, and it didn't happen. So you can't believe what he said. But other than airstrikes, what is that going to accomplish? That's not going to accomplish much unless you put boots on the ground. Like somebody needs to go door by door, look for the enemy, seek him out, and take him out. That's just how it is. That's how combat operations are done. You just don't shoot missiles and that's it. Somebody needs to go door by door. So I hope not, but I see it happening.
Here, okay, I have it. I have the brilliant idea here of how we can fix this problem with zero money. All right. We can draft this up right now. Maybe we'll get a percentage. We're going to go to Disneyland, right? We're going to pitch them that they can make the Aladdin theme park, right?
Yeah.
So all they have to do is pay for everything, which, hey, we're going to give them the largest land mass in, like, Central Asia or Europe or whatever that part is. We just wipe everything out and allow them to build a theme park there. It's a win-win. Don't you want to take your kids to Disneyland? Yes. Do your kids love Aladdin? Yes. Does that remove ISIS? Yes. Disneyland pays for it. I'm telling you, it's an idea.
Let's let's see if it works.
Obviously, joking aside, but no, you're right. Again, you either have to go in and wipe everybody out or not.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, I was actually talking about this today with the guy I went hunting with today. Is if you're going to fight that way, and this is the double-edged sword, is we have all this media stuff in there with the war, which yes you want, but also then that can change the public opinion on a war based off of how you fight to win a war. If you're going to fight, in my opinion, this is my sole opinion, if you're going to go in and fight a war, you fight to win. That means by killing and wiping the bad guy out. There's no PC stuff or nice ways of fighting a war. You go in and you do the job. And that becomes semi-issue when you have a video camera behind every single troop. And I think that changes, again, their ability to do their job because they're worried about stuff and public opinion. And I think that's kind of a little bit of a double-edged sword. I'm sure I'll get flack for that. But again, too, it's also we also want all this information. So, and again, I think that's a really hard part is, especially nowadays with the war, is that aspect of having a camera at every single thing. And maybe you can relate on that. And I could be totally wrong, Jarhead. You know,
You could use cameras in different ways. I know I went in many patrols where you have cameras to scan the area as you patrol through the streets. It's kind of like having a scout vehicle or having a dog, a canine dog in the front. You know, it's kind of nice to walk down the street and get a radio and be like, hey, what do you have? 600 meters in front of me, and the cameras could pick up that and see it. But yeah, there's many different occasions where the cameras could get you in trouble too as well. I guess the key is being professional. If you do what you're supposed to do most of the time, you're gonna be okay. But they do hold your hands in many occasions. I'll tell you what. 2004, we had a few encounters, and I'm not gonna get into details, but if you shoot a person, you better justify. It was a step that you have to take, and sometimes those steps, I wouldn't say that put your life in risk, but like you better wait until the last moment. Like the guy's about to put the gun and put into your forehead, and he's about to squish the trigger, and you see the trigger going like half away, then you engage.
Yeah, honestly, Jarhead, don't you think that the rules of engagement that you guys are forced to abide by, and like PID and that kind of stuff, how many soldiers do you think we lost because of that political red tape that they tried to,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's war, man. To me, that whole don't fire until fired upon bullcrap is ridiculous. Like, that's, once you're fighting an enemy, especially in Afghanistan, where those people blended so much with the general population, it was hard to differentiate friend from foe. But to me, it seems like the politicians that sit back in their, in their leather lazy boys and make up these arbitrary rules of engagement for the soldiers that have boots on the ground is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it goes back to no communication. Like we just see the generals pretty much telling the president that we need to put boots in the grounds to accomplish our mission, and there is no communication between them. Like you say, people making rules that they don't know how it goes. They don't know what you're supposed to do. I mean, it is what it is, man. This is the internet. I'm not gonna put everything out there, but there are some things that you do to stay alive, and when the back of your hair kind of like it goes, it's time to get some. And I know Marines are pretty good when it comes to that. They don't mess around, but they do train you. But yeah, I would say that I think the rules of engagement has to be in place because you got to understand there's a lot of guys that constantly go like I did 4 combat deployments, and one of them got extended to an additional deployment, even though it's only considered 4. Technically, it was 5 because I got extended to another deployment, but I was already there, so it's not like I went home, took a break, so I just got extended. But some of those guys have issues, man. I'll tell you right now, some of those guys have issues, and the rules of engagement they need to control them, But again, it goes back to take care of the Marines. When you have troops going back and back and back, and that's what I'm talking about, the war. I mean, it's so much that a human could take. When people say, "Well, this guy has PTSD," this guy, well, man, this guy did 4 combat deployments. Like, if you don't get affected by seeing dead people, shooting at people, seeing people burn alive. Seeing people, straight up, the Taliban. The Taliban kills kids like it's cool, One of the tactics that they use is walk to a kid, shoot him right in the head, and then record it and give it to the communities and be like, hey, look what the Americans did. And then the communities kind of turn against the Americans because they think that we shot a kid, and they attack the bases. Tactics like that, you see that kind of stuff. After so many combat deployment, you are going to have issues. It's just normal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I don't even know where I'm going with this one, man. But they need a break. Yeah, I would say the rules of engagements are pretty tight. They should be loosened up a little bit. If it would be me, I would bring it down a couple of notches. But most importantly, the troops need a break. You know what I'm saying? They just need a break, man. I know too many guys that have been deploying, man. You got kids that are 24 years old and have already multiple combat deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. At 24 years old, with missions to seek out the enemy and destroy them. That is the mission. They will go and seek you out and destroy you. When they come back from those deployments and they sit at the house in their couches, it is hard to adjust. That was all you did for a year in combat, and then you sit down here and they expect you to like just pick up and go to the grocery store like you cool. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man.
No, I mean, they invite them back home and give them jobs as police officers because they don't show any signs of PTSD. I mean, so obviously there's no problem, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know about that. And, here's the other thing I wanted to say to you. We just got through basically calling back all the troops, okay? Now, why did they call back the troops? Because they did the job, they succeeded, we won, we're out of money. Which is it? And then, here's the next question. Is the American people ready to go back and send their children back again? Or have they lost faith in the military or the way the government is running things? Will they have that support? Now, we understand if you're enrolled, you're going, right? Otherwise, there's a penalty for that.
I don't think you're going to get public support for this one, especially, with ISIS. To me, this is more of a territorial / religious conflict between these groups of people. This really doesn't concern us, other than kind of what what Nick said. I mean, it is a moral conundrum in a sense where, yeah, I mean, if we have the ability as the superpower America to try to put a stop to some of these atrocities, I mean, I understand that aspect of it, but in the big grand scheme of things, this really doesn't have anything, like, we have no business there. We have no reason to insert ourselves into this situation.
Let me remind everybody something. We didn't go over there and start this sucker until there was an attack on U.S. soil. So I make a prediction today. Now, I have nothing against Texas. I'm just using it as an example, folks. But when they basically detonate a bomb in Texas, okay, and they blame it because the southern border was wide open, okay, and this is how I see it. This is the rollout. The southern border has been basically wide open now. Somebody's going to sneak across from ISIS. An explosion is going to take place in Texas. They've attacked on U.S. soil. We're going. And this will drum up support because they'll put the propaganda out there like mad. Now, anybody out there tell me that I'm wrong? Because I'd like to have the dialogue on that. Because that is what drums up support. I mean, that was what it was. They didn't even ask the American people. The American people demanded that you take our sons and daughters and go over there and kick their asses. Go right to their frickin' doorstep and take the war to them. They just killed our people on our American soil. And now it could happen in Canada. I don't know. But either way, that will be the rollout. And I think Jarhead's right. We're going to go. It's going to happen. I'd like to think I'm wrong, but and Canada will jump in. It'll happen eventually. We're just taking our time right now. Like I put in the internal. You look at the U.S. debt clock. You look at the Canadian debt clock. You look at the world debt clock. And there is problems everywhere. So I don't know.
No, and somebody just was a kooky viper. What do we care about the problems? I think we should care. I'm not saying this group has the capabilities and the intent to come here and attack this country. I believe that. If they have the chance, they would do it. And they could easily go through, I mean, there's connections between a lot of radical Muslims believers, Al-Qaeda and all those groups. There's connections to Venezuela, to Peru, Colombia, those countries. They have connections there. And they know, the U.S. know that they have sent fighters to go and train in Colombia and countries like that to learn their tactics. So they could easily infiltrate the United States. But, I mean, that's just what I'm trying to go here is like there's all the terrorist groups out there, the Mexican cartels and a bunch of other groups that would do the same thing. That doesn't mean that I'm going to go and fight every single terrorist group in the whole wide world because can potentially attack the United States. I mean, there's other ways to stop a terrorist threat than send the entire military to go and fight. Like you said, we could secure the borders. I mean, that would be step number one. Implement ways so they cannot infiltrate the country. And instead, we're going out there, but we're leaving the whole borders open. I mean, I hope you run, but I would agree with you, Luke. But I hope you run. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility that could happen.
I hope I'm wrong too. I hope I'm dead wrong. I was hoping somebody out in the audience there or somebody here would say, "You're wrong, Luke. There's no way, and this is why." That's what I was hoping. I really was because honestly, I mean, as a Canadian, man, I don't like to say it like this, but yeah, I worry. I mean, I do worry. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know if it's going to be prompted by propaganda. I don't know if they're actually going to get over here and actually do some harm legitimately. And then what? It just poked the bear. Now what?
Here's one problem: is number one, the public in the United States. How many of them can even pick out where Iraq or Syria is on a map? How many of them are actually looking into this or staying involved in this and researching or just reading a headline on this?
If it's on Facebook, they will.
Oh, well, that's still debatable. But I mean, and that's another problem too. Is like you said, all it takes is one thing, and people will be on board again. And then guess what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road, they're going to be back in the same spot over there now of no war. But again, the same type of people that 5, 10 years ago were saying yes war. And here's the thing: is nobody is educated. They don't educate themselves. They're not knowledgeable. They don't. Unless something directly affects their life, they just don't care.
Yeah,
and that's one of the biggest issues that we have right now.
That's why you're having the problems with the government right now, infringing upon your Constitution. I mean,
people don't care.
Because if it doesn't affect them, they don't care. And if the majority of Americans don't really care about firearms, well, you'll probably get that sucker infringed upon. You know?
Yep.
Or you get the 80% or 90% of the people out there, the voting people, who say, well, I trust what my government is doing for me, because if something happens with my job, even if the government screwed it up and give it away to corporations and blah, 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 that's okay, because they'll still give me food stamps. They'll still feed me. It was Matt from Resist the Tyranny who had said that, bang on right. Nothing will happen and nothing will change until people starve. Not go hungry, starve. Then you'll have a stand-up. There's no doubt about that. But again, as long as the government is basically allowing us to believe that they're doing the right thing and they're making all the right choices, you just follow our lead. If we take you into war, it's the right thing to do. You know, I don't think they should be putting boots on the ground again there. I just don't. I think that they can do it by assisting in drones, giving the communication intel to the people on the ground who surround that country, and we protect our borders. 200 miles out in the ocean, all the way around, you protect the border, you know, and even protect it from Canada. You know, you do your job, okay? And we'll take care of it up here. But like I said, we know there's people in Canada who've gone over to ISIS. A boy down in Hamilton, Ontario, allegedly, okay, has been killed over there now, right? Now, he was born and raised here, grew up thinking that Canada was the best place in the world until something got to him, and he got on a plane. Somehow, somebody sponsored him, and he went over. Now, he's not the only one. There's approximately 200 from Canada. And again, this is I don't know if this is right or wrong. It's only what I'm feeding back from the mainstream media. But, you know, so it could happen here. I just don't know about taking it to their doorstep yet. Jennifer Young said out there, we should never go over and invade a country unless their military has invaded us. Maybe that's it. You know?
Welcome, Laos. That's something else. Like, we are not welcome there. Like, we bomb a country that, and don't get me wrong, nobody likes that guy, I forgot his name. He's supposed to be a murderer and all that. But nevertheless, we weren't welcome there. We actually bombed a country that we weren't welcome to. That's a big no-no. You know, to me, that would be like a declaring war on me. If I own my house and you come inside my house and you weren't welcome, we're going to have issues. So I'm surprised that they haven't declared officially war on us in a way.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Sorry, Nick, I'm just going to make this point and I'll let you go here. Because you mentioned that. When the Boston bombing took place, and they basically put the entire neighborhood down into lockdown, and they went door to door, basically going into homes, searching homes, and so on and so forth, was everybody okay with that? Were they saying, well, yeah, the government has to do this? Because there was a lot of people that said, no, that's not okay. That's definitely not okay. And now if we have to start getting into this basically militarization of our police service or martial law scenarios, you know, so is the same ideology in another country? Are they okay with the world police going over and going door to door to door? And is that going to cause more resentment? Like you had said, when they get the propaganda, they said, look, this child was shot in the head. The Americans did it. And now the enemy is going door to door in their community. They don't see the big picture, just like Nick said. Not everybody has a clue exactly what might be going on. Maybe we're giving the wrong intel. We think we're doing the right thing. In fact, maybe we're not. Yeah, you know, so I always try to play devil's advocate on that. So sorry, Nick.
No, I was going to play devil's advocate and say, let's say we don't get involved. And let's say ISIS takes over all of Iraq and Syria and forms the great Allah state of ISIS, whatever they'd call it. You know, then at that point, do you think, is everybody okay with ISIS having their own country, forming up a military, building up a military, you know, having a large amount of land? Would everybody be okay with that, to play devil's advocate?
I'm not. I mean, and again, I think that someone needs to go there and go door by door and take him out. Those guys are murdered and they need to be terminated. My issue is that I don't think it should be us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
That's my issue.
it's hard.
I completely agree with. Look, uh, what's that, Stone?
No, no, go ahead. I thought you were finishing up. No, go ahead.
No, I mean, I just go back to that. Like, we could provide some type of support. Either, we have airplanes that conduct surveillance, or maybe we could do something, or a couple of things. I just don't think that it is our fight. Like, someone else need to step up and take over this one. We just can't do it. We have too many guys dying out of suicide. We have a war in Afghanistan, and how are we going to be able to sustain two wars when we have a military guys killing themselves, and we all like a trillion, quadruple trillion, whatever trillion. You know what I'm saying? Like we just cannot do it. Like, at one point, somebody has to say, "Look, man, I like to help you. I like to hold your hands. Maybe I give you this, but I'm sorry, I can't help you right now." It's not because I'm mean. It's just because I don't have the ability to do it
Right.
the right way.
That's exactly what I'm glad you said that, because that's what I was about to say, is to bring up the financial aspect of this whole endeavor, is the fact that, we have right now, we have our government officials, or official, I should say, I think we all know who I mean, that's cutting funding to the military. You've got bases closing. You've got, I mean, to the point in Jarhead, I mean, I don't know if this went on when you were in, or the years that you were in, but I got buddies deployed now that said they don't feed them breakfast now. Like, it's not in the budget. So, they don't get it. They don't actually get served a breakfast like they used to. And to me, that's ridiculous.
It wouldn't surprise me.
So you think about the financial aspect of a war. Like you said, we still have a campaign going on in Afghanistan, not to mention on our own soil. I mean, this country is in horrible shape right now. I mean, we've got our own issues, and to me, it seems like we're going to we're overextending ourselves. Not with our unemployment rates, still like 10%. It's just, we've got a lot more issues that we need to take care of in our country before we start trying to play world police to every other country out there. That's just my opinion. But
I'm just going to throw this piece in here, and you guys can comment on it, is I think the reason that we are basically the ones, I mean, military power-wise, there's us, and then there's like the rest of the world combined kind of close to us. I mean, I think that, we're just based off the simple fact of us doing it because we are the military might of the world. That's.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that anymore. Russia's out there, and in China, they're pretty big countries as well.
But here's the big difference, though, in that is, who has the most knowledgeable troops, and where do you get knowledge from? Is being in conflicts and in wars. I mean, look at for us civilians, this is the best time throughout history, probably ever, to get firearms instruction, because there are kids that are 10 years younger than me that have kicked in thousands of doors and know more military tactics than high-end firearms instructors that have been around in the firearms instructions for 20 years. I'm just saying, based off of knowledge and experience, we have the best military, not including then all of our other, I almost said spaceships, aircraft carriers and everything else.
But
That's a good point.
I don't know. I definitely, I'm tracking, and I agree, but our leaders not.
did he skip out, or is that me?
No, I think he skipped out.
Oh.
I wasn't saying that as the pro voice to go to war. I was just saying that. I mean, that's why it's always us. Because, I mean, who else has? I mean, how many aircraft carriers do we have? 12, 20? I don't even know.
I think we're definitely the superpower. But
yeah, there's no one else that can pull off all of this stuff except us.
Well, there's that image that you guys have put out there as well. You guys have always gone to the bat. I mean, or gone to bat, I should say, with anything that's ever gone on, and spread the military all over the world. Little dab here, little dab there for any conflict that might be going on. So if you have a major terrorist threat going on, and U.S. stands back seat to it, how is that going to look on the world platform, which is UN or the NATO or whatever the case is? And then you have those people there of all the countries combined saying, well, we have an American sitting in the audience here that says, well, hang on, why are we doing it? Canada doesn't even want to. They're iffing and on whether or not they're going to step in. Well, yeah, well, that's a good point. I think it should be well thought through, quite frankly. I was a little ticked off when Canada said, yeah, let's send some advisors over there to Russia. I'm sitting there going, hey, just hang on a second. Let's just think about this for a quick second. Russia's pretty freaking big, and let's make sure that U.S. has got our back 110% if they decide to invade or Russia decides to invade Canada. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I don't know. Here's the thing. Government cutbacks and so on and so forth, you know what I mean? Is this because you have a federal debt crisis on your hands? And they're saying, we don't have the money. It's not a matter of what we should or we shouldn't or management of our monies. We don't frickin' got it. We just don't. I mean, like I said, I put in the internal, the U.S. debt clock, the Canadian debt clock, which is also tied into, another link for the world debt clock. It doesn't look good. I'm just looking at the numbers on it, and if those are the factual numbers.
Well, let's be honest. Does anybody here believe that we're ever going to pay our debt?
No, you can't. It's impossible.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to happen, of course, and people don't realize what's going to happen when we default and etc. But again, we're just printing money, so it don't matter what we do because we're just going to print money and keep printing money and until either all of our printing machines break.
Well, we started to die in 2008, guaranteed. Now, somebody will say to me, "No, hell, it was way before that," and they're probably right. It was probably back in what, 1913, I think, is what you guys are talking about in the States when they
made the Fed. Yep.
Yeah, and it's probably right. And then you've got the induction of credit, which was probably the worst thing in the world, But they said, no, it makes an economy grow and so on and so forth. And I go, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. So what's the plan? Is going to war? Is that actually how the U.S. has actually stayed their head above water all this time? To go over and, is that it? That's a hard thing to say because I'm talking to 3 Americans on the panel, but and I guess I'm a Canadian too. But so I'm not trying to push anybody here or push any buttons by any means by saying that. But is that the plan? 17 trillion, approaching 18 trillion dollars in debt. We have to do something to at least save face for another 4 years. How are we going to do that? Well, the people say, you know what? The leader countries say there's an opportunity to go to war here, and this generates revenue, defense contracts, and so on and so forth. Anything we can produce in the America.
I was just about to say that war is big business.
Oh, it is.
So there's that aspect of it. This could be, since things are winding down in Afghanistan, if you put your tinfoil hat on kind of thing, could this be a conspiracy to generate another conflict, another war for revenue?
Well, I thought the same thing when I said, well, they left all the military equipment over there. Now they're getting ready to give a whole whack of money and equipment over there again. Are they actually only basically padding the freaking playing ground for next year, to actually implement all this money, and quietly doing that? Say, well, let's just quietly put it over there. We'll downsize our military, I should say, downgrade our military, get my words mixed up, and this will basically be another reason to drum up the roll here for getting more military personnel, basically creating, some kind of economy over here in that basis, right? So all of a sudden now people seem to have jobs. It's in the military, but it's creating that structure again.
But we also remember that's not going to drive any more revenue. We're just going to spend more. Because we have to buy this stuff. I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying to people in general.
No, well, it will in a sense because you can have potential companies opening up, and they could be from across the ocean. They're flying a flag of convenience, certainly, but it would create jobs here, and those jobs making money for these people here, whether it's defense contracts or whatever the case is. It's that that network that feeds the military, which is a massive little network. One company opens up just for bolts, nuts and bolts, for another thing with another thing with another thing, food and and MREs or whatever the case may be, and those people go out and spend their paychecks in America, which again drums the economy up instead of having to print the money.
Well, again though, but we're still going to print. I mean, we run a yearly deficit of 1.1 trillion. We ain't making that up.
Yes.
We haven't made that up when we had both wars going. So
no, that's right. No, I hear you there. It's the illusion, I guess, is what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah.
To try to stay face for another 4 years. Yeah, and I keep going back to that. I personally, and I've said it out here, and I'll keep saying it. October 2016. There it is. You're going to see everything. If you want to see a shit hit the fan scenario, there it is. That'll happen before Obama leaves. Just like 2008, just before Bush left.
Also, speaking of
that's it.
what you talked about with us, the new, what was the thing that they voted on? We're now going to be arming Syrian rebels. I just want to go on a record and say that I am a Syrian rebel, so all of those fully automatic and weapons of war you can just send to my home. I am officially a Syrian rebel, so I will take fully automatic firearms. I mean, if we're going to send it to them, we might as well give it to our own public, right? I just want to make that I'm technically a rebel, so.
Right. If you need a letter reference or something, let me know. I'll come by. No problem.
Just drop off that 30,000 rounds of ammo at my front doorstep, please.
Right.
I think that's that's sorry because you dropped on there. That's the most annoying thing. There was a new the Senate voted on it and approved it because Obama was like, well, I don't really know what we're gonna do, but let's arm the rebels, which we did before already, and of course, how did that turn out? Not well. But it's one of those. Wait, you're sitting here trying to pass gun control laws. That's what they're trying to do. Then we're taking the same military-grade firearms that they won't let us have unless you go through the process and giving them to anybody that says they're a rebel. What kind of thinking? How do people sleep at night with that sort of judgment? Well, no, it's not good for you guys right there. But those guys, yeah, that's okay.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
So end.
Yeah, gotcha now, buddy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. NSA.
Kicked him again. Oh my. This is his chat, and I feel bad, kind of. He's getting booted. Oh my. Oh, there he is.
NSA has got the finger on Jarhead, huh?
Can you hear me again?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, bro. They're kicking me out. They don't want me to talk. So, but yeah, Nick, you were talking about being hypocrites, man. Just crazy that they want to give those guys weapons, man. I don't even understand that. Like, who comes out with this type of information or idea? Like, I get it if you want to give some weapons to a government, which I wouldn't approve that, but if you're going to, you have somebody accountable for it, that you could ask this government or president, hey, where's my 300 rifles and my 200 planes and my automatic weapons that I gave you? But we're just going to give weapon to people that we don't know, and we know they're going to use it against us. I mean, if you look at history, if it happened so many different times, like how many times does it have to happen for us to get it? I just don't even see it. How you talk about gun control and they want to give automatic weapons to people that we don't even know.
But I mean, why am I even surprised? I shouldn't even say anything. I mean, we gave firearms to drug cartels, so why am I even surprised?
Well, that's because they want those people to rise up against the people over there. They don't want you guys to rise up for the people here. That's the big difference.
Yeah, but I mean, in this case, the enemy of my enemy is not really my friend. It's not like that. It's scary that we're giving these people this type of weapons that can be utilized against us.
And let's not forget, we already armed Syrian rebels during their internal conflict that they had. And then that same guy that McCain went over there and met with for the leader of the rebels or their spokesperson or the face of it, oh, that's right, he's an ISIS freaking dude. What?
Yeah. Well, there's always, oops, we made a mistake.
God. Yeah. Where's
And
my
that's just-
apology? I want my apology card from the government.
And look, when you were
$5
talking,
Starbucks card.
when you were talking about in a situation where you have to go house by house, I think that if the people would trust, will have some type of, if I trust you because you're taking care of people, communities, I'd be willing to work with you. But we continue to see so many different things that happens that makes no sense, to the point that the military doesn't even trust the leadership. No one trusts the government. I mean, there's a bunch of polls out there saying that, that we don't trust you guys. So
Well, look at the
they
VA.
need some trust
Great
in our
example.
respect. I mean, you guys know this as, especially when you get put in authority billets or supervisor position. If your employees or your soldiers, your Marines don't trust you, they're not going to do what you tell them to do it, or they're going to do it, sloppy, not to the best of their abilities. And
Yeah, we talked
they
about
need
the integrity.
respect.
Yeah, we talked about integrity before we went live, and that's the bottom line. Once you lose that integrity, man, that's the most valuable thing that a person can own, a government can own, a country can own. And like I say, it's presentation and so on and so forth. But when they have a hard time taking care of their own people, and it's put onto the news, and other countries see that, other countries sees us criticizing our government leaders, to the worst kind of way, whether it's the president of the United States, or up here if it's our prime minister. I and I've said this before, I don't think it should be allowed, to be publicly aired that we're criticizing our president. Now somebody will argue with me on that and say, no, we should have a right to be able to criticize. I'm not stating you can't, but to air our dirty laundry to everybody in the world, I think that's just bad tactics. You know what I mean? Because they're going to say, oh look, they don't have support. They don't have the support. Okay, that's good. I don't think that's smart.
Well, here's my thing is, do you think there's anybody in the world that is scared of Obama?
No.
No,
No.
that's a good point. I don't think so. But actions speak louder than words.
I mean, he's already said we don't have a plan.
He's negotiated with terrorists. You know what I mean? And that's rule number one. He broke that rule, right? So that was a big no-no. It's easy for me to say because it wasn't my son who was in captivity. I probably would have said, I don't care what you do, give him whatever you need to give him, get my son back. However, and I think it was actually in a conversation with JH6 about that particular topic. But yeah, you're right. Who the hell is scared of him? I don't think so.
No, the Russians are not. They made it specifically clear they're not. They don't care what we say.
No, but that's European arrogance. I mean, and no offense to anybody who's European, but they are like that. They look at me and go, Russians especially. I've dealt with some Russians, let me tell you.
Yeah, but
and spooks you a little bit.
You gotta be pretty strong to do that to the United States. When you tell the United States we don't care, that's a pretty big statement. So,
yeah. I suppose.
I'd put it this way. It's bad when France isn't scared, because France should be scared of everybody.
I know, French-loving people.
I mean, come on, France has only won one war, and that's because they were fighting the French.
I agree with you. Oh, there goes another sub. Damn. Oh. But there goes another one.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we lose subs. Usually I lose subs every time I do this, so. But I don't think I have. I don't know. I don't care.
Buddy, if you ran your channel,
I haven't seen a solid plan. Like I was trying to say before I got cut off, I just have not seen a solid plan from this people. Like you have this National Security Council and all these people. Where is the plan of what are you guys going to do, versus I'm going to airstrike a place, I'm going to bomb a place, and we don't even know who's going to go we're not going to know who's going to put boots on ground. We're still trying to get other countries to work with us. I mean, a solid plan should have been developed before we start a mission. I mean, I understand there's going to be changes through it, but we don't even have a plan. We're just bombing people right now. So
everybody knows that we don't have a plan. I mean, Obama came out, September 4th, and said we don't have a plan. There's no strategy yet, and none of that has changed as far as I know. But I mean, he came out and publicly said that, so.
And that kind of blows my that kind of blows my mind, because those are strategy and contingency plans should be established before something happens. I mean, this is not something that you establish when it happens. This is something that is supposed to be done before it happens. Like, we should have a contingency plan for pretty much every single situation out there. Like, you name it, we should have a plan for it. I mean, there's anti-terrorist and force protection plans. You know, there's drills. There's annual certifications that they do in different, you know, the military and things like that. We should have a plan. I mean, it shouldn't happen and then, oh, what are we going to do about it? Like, we should have a plan. That's why we pay you guys a lot of money to have a plan.
I'm pretty sure their plan right now is to do maybe a hashtag campaign, you know. Hashtags, please stop ISIS, we're asking nicely. That's probably their backup plan right now.
You know, the quote that's coming to my mind right now is from Armageddon, when Bruce Willis says to the guy at NASA, he says, "Are you kidding me, man? You guys don't have a backup plan for a plan? You got all these people in the government, and you got no plan? This is the best you can come up with?" Oh man, I'm thinking the same thing. I agree with you guys. They should have a freaking plan for everything. They pay enough people in the government payroll. I think there's more government employees than there is regular employees in the world, isn't it? I don't know. They damn right they should have a plan.
And obviously, I mean, I don't know. I think the American people just don't trust them. The news is always reporting things that don't even make sense. The military don't even trust. I mean, like me personally, being a retired Marine, come on, man. You want to send me? If you want to send me to Syria now, I have an issue with that. You know, you locked down the government, and you left dead Marines in an airplane. I mean, in an airport. And I know that doesn't sound, for some people, be like, well, that's not a big deal. That is a big deal. We promise those guys that if they die, their families will be taken care of. And they give their life for their country, and you're going to leave them in an airport because the government shut down. And yes, they did fix it the next day or whatever, but just the simple fact that happened. And then it's not even an apology. They just argue with each other. You know, the Congress versus the president. I should do a video on that. The Congress versus the president. Because all they do is argue. Can you guys work together? I don't trust anything that they say. I don't trust it, and I thanks to the Lord, I'm not in the military, because if I had to go to Syria right now, I will have an issue with it. So,
well, I don't think there's anybody that thinks that the way the government is set up right now, with a left and a right, is the way to go. And if there is, I'd probably like to have some dialogue with you, because it doesn't seem to be working. If it was right and it was the only way to have it because it's a democracy, I'm going, well, because I tell you, it doesn't seem to be working really well. Are you telling me that everybody voted for this to go this way? If that's the case, oh, God help us. I mean, really, God help us.
Well, again, it goes back to the problem is people just don't care anymore. Unless Facebook goes down or Twitter goes down or Instagram goes down, people don't care about anything.
Well, that's true, because if my YouTube channel went down, I'd probably take to a writing page and I'd write somebody and say, "What the hell is going on? What have you done?" And scream and stomp and say, "I'm going to get my lawyers involved here, and this is going to get epic." Now, you know, if we did that for some more important things, you know. And I have this problem right here on my little island. We have a healthcare system here, or we have an education system that's flawed terribly, and yet nobody seems to have a problem with it. It's either that or nobody knows how to actually write a letter, you know. So I go, why? Yeah, I don't get it. Like, if you have a problem, then at least write somebody and say you're not happy with it. And they say, well, it'll reflect in the voting booth. And I go, well, that doesn't seem to work either. I'll be honest with you, you know. But hey, it's your right to vote. You fought for that right. Then by God, you get to the polls, because next time we're going to vote for the other guy, because he's going to make some changes. Like Obama, everybody thought, oh, that Obama guy, he's the best guy to vote in. How do I know that? Because he's in. And what happened?
No, here's the saddest part about, and again, this goes back to my point is, the guy literally stood there and said, I'm going to cut the deficit in half, I'm going to lower the oceans and raise the ice, and literally a guy can go up there and say anything, and as long as people are like, yeah, I like that idea, they will do anything. Literally, that's all it takes nowadays, is you can literally just lie, as long as it sounds good, people go with it, they don't care. I mean, when was the last time somebody brought up, hey, I think he said he's going to cut the deficit in half his first 4 years? Oh, no, wait, that doubled. That's not the same thing. When was, there's people will just go along with anybody now.
You're right,
as long as it sounds good, and you're promising me I'm going to get a check or something, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. That's why people listen to me. They like how the way I sound.
That's why you get so many subscribers with your accent.
Yeah.
I sent my wife out of the room when we started.
Yeah, they dig it. They're like, I can't get enough. I definitely appreciate you guys watching. You guys are so awesome. What's that?
What? No, I said my wife came in. She goes, "Hey, is that Jarhead 6?" My wife says, "Is that Jarhead 6?" And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh, I haven't heard him in a while." And I went, "Get out of the room, get out of the room." Anyway.
Apparently, you need to call her again, Jarhead.
Yeah, do that. Actually, do that, Jarhead, because I'm going to be honest with you. I know we're live, but my home life gets a little better when you call her. I'm just saying. Anyway, thanks.
Nice.
I just gotta stay quiet here. So next topic. Yeah, man, I really appreciate all you guys that watch. I mean, I don't even know why you guys listen to me, to tell you the truth.
We just answered that question.
Yeah, I guess, right? I enjoy making videos, and the channel is like, I don't know, the channel is like growing pretty fast too, which I'm like surprised, man. But I definitely appreciate it. I'm gonna keep doing it. I enjoy it. This is like my little hobby, my little thing that I do on the side. Just making a couple of videos a week, and I definitely appreciate everybody watching. So, but to tell you the truth, man, like this, a lot of guys talk about these videos. These videos are like critical. Like the people got to be informed, man. Because Nick was talking about people making decisions. Like a large amount of people make decisions based on no facts or anything. They just, I like how this guy sound, and that's it. And they don't even do the research, and that's pretty scary, man. Because I mean, Obama sometimes, King Obama has a pretty good speech, and if you're not informed or you don't know some history, you could easily be manipulated to do what he wants you to do. And me personally, I mean, it's too many things, man, against the military, and that's something else. You want to start wars, and you're not good with the military, that's not a good idea, man. I just, you guys remember when he tried to take away, or they tried to take away a percentage out of our retirement.
Well, yeah, he's done all sorts of things. The time that he didn't, God, what was it? It was shortly after his first term, and the Marine Guard that was guarding him coming off the plane, he didn't salute, or he did something. Remember that big stink? God, I can't. There was something, some Marine Guard or something was
the latte salute.
Was standing, yeah, he was standing post or something. And
yeah.
And Obama didn't acknowledge him or something. It was very disrespectful. Like every other president in history acknowledged this thing, and Obama was like the first one never to acknowledge. It was so long ago, I can't remember all the details, but I remember when it first happened, it was big. I mean, it was a big story. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, did you see what Obama did to that Marine?"
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember something about it.
Well, this week was the latte salute.
Yeah.
But here's the sad thing: is the White House started that. They put the picture up of him holding a latte, doing this hashtag latte salute. The White House started that. That's how just clueless they are.
Because it's funny, man. They don't. There's no respect towards our military guys. None. You know what I'm saying? They're so disrespectful that they just don't care. Like you understand that saluting is a sign of respect. You know, you salute officers because officers, you know, have respect, and that's just the thing that they don't care. They don't care to learn about traditions. They don't care about to do anything. From then, it's like whatever. You know, I'm gonna pass by through those Marines, and I don't care. And that's just sad, man. That's what you think about our troops. You know, very sad. Which, by the way, those Marines. I don't know if you guys don't probably know this, but the Marines standing and next to the airplanes, the helicopters, are military police guys. So they law enforcement, and they don't care. So it is what it is, man. No one cares. You know, if he comes here and knock on my door, to tell you the truth, I probably will open the door and be like, "Are you lost or something?" I wouldn't even address him. See you later. Bye. You need water? Maybe I let you drink some water or something. But other than that, no. I'll probably tell you where the gas station is so you can go and buy water. So.
Oh, John.
Yeah, I take it back. If he knocks on my door and asks me for water, you know, the Christian thing will be to give him water. But, you know, it would be pretty difficult. I would like to tell him to go to the gas station and get some water. So
I can see it. You can be like, honey, the president's here. Get him water. From the barrel out back? Yes, from the barrel out back. Go get him the water.
oh, man.
Drilled for this, damn it. Anyway, yeah. Oh boy. Well, no, I get it. He's a bit of a rock star, isn't he? I mean, well, I think Uzi 9mm said something in the chat room there. You know, but he's a celebrity in the fact of a celebrity president. He's a very good speaker. You know, he's an extremely good speaker. Whether someone's writing him his speeches or not, his delivery is quite hypnotic. I mean, in the sense of how he delivers it. You know, it's about being a good salesman. You know, and even in policing, for instance, you know, and I used to teach this to officers. I said, you have to be a good salesman because what you're trying to do is sell somebody an idea of a conflict resolution scenario. That idea that leaving for the night is going to be the best way to go. You know, come on, let's take a party away from the night. Everything will work out in the morning. You know what I mean? Instead of going in there and being an asshole, well, you're probably not going to get that resolution you're looking for. So again, you know, when you put somebody up a bush, the worst speaker I've ever heard of my life, standing on the Canadian side, I'm going, why do they keep giving this man a microphone? I thought you guys must. I'm sure look, I just lost another subscriber. What the? Okay, I'm just not going to talk. Okay.
Dude, you know, I think I was telling is it Nick? I was telling somebody I lost like 10 subscribers yesterday, and I got them back. So don't worry, man. They come and go. So it is what it is. But I still one guy, Jason. He just put in the comments that it was he was talking on the phone and he failed to salute a Marine. That's what happened. Are you talking about the same situation, right?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was. He was on the phone and he didn't acknowledge that Marine, and it was very disrespectful. Like given the situation or the event.
I guess on a Canadian point of view, and I'm not been in the military neither. I would say, you know what? He's the president of the United States. If he's on the phone, he's probably important. So if he doesn't salute, that's too bad. You know what? The Marine salutes because he's the president of the United States. So I don't find it disrespectful if he's got a legitimate excuse. Although the latte salute, now that I think was a little disrespectful. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
Well, the thing about that is that is not the salute, is what represent. It's not about saluting the Marine. You know, I get it. Maybe you forgot to salute. It's about the history that goes back. It's not just the president of the United States. People die over those traditions, over that culture, over that. It has since 1775. People been building this traditions, and once you do that, you do respect the tradition. And if you see any other service, and well, I'm not going to talk about other services, but Marines are very tradition we respect the traditions. We celebrate the Marine Corps birthday. For us, traditions is something that we continue to do. So once you do things like that, you do respect. A lot of Marines take it as a due respect. Not only you do respect me, but you do respect my dead buddies that died for you. That's how they look at it, and I'm just telling you from my side. Plus, we gotta understand when he comes down on the bird, it's not a ceremony, but it is kind of like a ceremony. You're gonna go down, Marines are gonna salute you. You know that. I mean, every president in like years and years and years, when they come down, the Marine is gonna salute you. So it's not like your first rodeo. You know the Marine is coming to salute you, so you could quickly giving a salute. But I guess I will see your point if he's talking to like Syria, trying to bomb the place. You know, you don't have time to salute the guy. But that's one of those things that you got to be really careful, man. It's kind of like being a law enforcement officer. Once you go into a call, and people know this, if you get into a fight as a police officer, they teach you to scream, like stop resisting, stop doing this. Why? Not so much for him to understand that he needs to stop, but also because there's cameras recording you. You know, you're going to be recorded some kind of way, so you need to give this verbal command. I think it's kind of like the same deal. You know the cameras are going to record you, so if you go down and you don't salute the Marine, you know you're going to get a bunch of people going to criticize you. So that's something that you could fix really quick. I don't know what's the big deal. You know, just go down, salute the Marine, and that's it. I don't see why it's a big deal, but I don't know. Maybe he forgot. But
well, no, you're right. Everybody's on the public eye, right?
It's kind of different positions. What's up?
Even in these channels, I mean, even us, we're all under scrutiny. I mean, in the community itself, if we do something that's not quite right, we get called on it. So, I mean, it's the same thing, especially if it's recorded and it's put out there in a video or a live chat or whatever the case is. You know, so it's the same thing everywhere. I mean, cameras are everywhere. And, you know, again, same thing was like, you know, going back to the U.S. being held accountable, essentially. You have past history. You have past actions. You have demonstrated what you're about. And if you guys don't step up to that level from before, someone's going to try to hold you accountable or call you on it, you know? So, I mean, there's the other half of the coin, I'd say. But that, I don't necessarily think that means that you must go into war, you know? Like, I don't know.
So I
Matt V lost 500 subscribers this month. That's a lot of subscribers, man.
Well, he's also got what, 41K or something like that. So with those kind of numbers, you're
2,000 and he lost 500. So let's see how many I lost this month.
I don't know.
I lost 55. I lost 55 this month. So good.
I don't know what I've lost and what I gained, really. I'm just kidding when I say that. I don't know. I have no idea.
So here's a consensus question. Do you think in 2015, wait, 14, geez, in 2014 we will go to war with ISIS?
No.
Well, I mean,
I say go to war, I mean
we're kind of at war right now.
I mean,
okay.
The full, like, boots on the ground, you know, war, whatever.
I think they're gonna try. I think they're gonna try. I think they're gonna, little by little, they're gonna come out with like this terrorist group is gonna create a bomb that is gonna kill everybody in the United States, and we're gonna find, and people are gonna buy it because we're too busy. People are too busy playing on Facebook, and you're gonna find yourself. You may find our military fighting there. So and they're gonna make it seem so good. Yeah, we could just shift from Afghanistan to there, and I mean, I think it's a possibility. We went from Iraq to Afghanistan, and that's how they sell. Then we moved into Afghanistan, and we left Iraq. So moving from Afghanistan to Syria, one of those countries, could potentially be a possibility.
You're only going to go to war if it means that it'll help the new budget that's going to be released in the new year. Or if it's not going to help it, then you're not going. That's the only way I believe that you're going to have it, that you're going to go. It's all about money. I mean, every little tiny bit of it, as far as I'm concerned, is about money. You know, again, I could put a tinfoil hat on if that's what we say, but that's it. I think that's all of it. You know. Now, what's the twist on this one? I don't know. You know, I have my guess, but and I've already said that, so I don't know. But mark my words, you are not going to go full-out war and boots on the ground over there until something bad happens on your soil.
Mm-hmm. And the way they're doing it right now, they're making it so easy.
Yes.
It's just they're making it so easy for them to do something. That's something that scares me. You know, like, and Stone was talking about this. Like, got it. You know, we need to do something. We need to help if we can. All that stuff. But man, you're making it so easy for these guys to come here. It's just crazy, man. You know.
Well, like I said, southern border is opening up, and they're basically already throwing their hands up in the air, saying we can't stop it. You know, and now you're getting this complacency down there, or this normalcy bias, if you will, that's being created on along the southern border. They you know, people from the south or from the north come down to the southern border and they go, oh my God, what's going on, right? And they go, this is normal. It's already becoming that way for them. You know, I watched another guy in a video, and he went down and visited somebody down towards the southern border, and he says, are you seeing this? And he goes, oh yeah, this happens all the time. Don't worry about it. It's like, really? It's already becoming a norm, and that's crazy. You know, so they are leaving it wide open, and like I said, I think that they're already putting things in place. The Patriot Act was one of the freaking biggest things that I'm so shocked that they haven't utilized that sucker to the fullest yet. I think that's only a matter of time. And there it is, you know. So that's incredible. No.
To quote the meme.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna. What's that, Nick?
Oh, I was gonna say, just kind of quote the meme. If ISIS wants to bring the war here, say when.
What you got? You got your shotgun ready? You single shot?
I was quoting a movie.
Yeah.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Man, if I don't even know how it is. So many people are out there and not even prepared
I do like the movie.
To change a tire in my car. I wouldn't even know what people would do, man.
They'd be dumb.
Like these people live in this planet that is not real, and it's just crazy, man. Crazy stuff.
By the way, I had to one up your 17 and make it look like a little baby Glock. My Glock 34.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that real quick, because I think we're about to wrap it up, guys. We definitely appreciate you guys watching, but I like to finish this by asking Nick, now that he became a Glock fanboy, because he has a couple of Glocks. Let's go with that.
What?
You got a Glock 42 and you got a Glock, what, 34 or something, you say?
Yep. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I stumbled across this really great YouTube channel called JH6, and he went and said on one of his videos that Glock makes the best handguns ever, and I said, you know what? That guy looks like a trustworthy individual. I like his accent. You know what? I'm going to go out and buy a Glock because he said so, and I did. He literally changed my life.
This is my baby. I got my Glock 17 here. This is my my go-to-war pistol.
Some of us just like bigger ones, but that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, you're doing competition shooting and all that now, right?
A little bit, just little local stuff, but nothing.
I tell you what, I mean, I got my shield here too. That's that's what I carry every day, man. I love this gun. I know I just put a video and kind of went. It got a lot of feedback and a lot of guys watch it, but the whole thing about the magazine. But I still like that gun a lot, you know. So it's an excellent gun. But I do want a car CW380. That's gonna be my next gun. So let's see when it's gonna come. It's gonna come soon though, because I want to get a pocket gun, man. And I was looking at the Glock 42, but the Glock 42 is bigger than the CW, than the car. So I want something very, very small because I just want to put it inside my pocket. Or when I go to places that I don't want to print or anything, I think it's going to be a good choice. So.
Or just get fat and then your rolls hide guns. I'm just giving you
I got
options.
fat
I'm just
already,
giving
man.
you options.
I gained 40 pounds. 40 pounds since I left the military, man. So I'm gonna. Too late. I'm starting to use that. Finally, I'm starting to use the treadmill back here. Yeah, that thing been there just for fun, man. That's just part of the decor, part of the furniture. But now I'm using it. But yeah, man, the muscles in the traps kind of went away already. I need to get them back. Let's see how that's gonna go. But is your 6 cover, the P380 is better? Yeah, but the P380 is way more expensive, man. You're looking about double. I think it's about double the price. So the CW380 is about 350 in my neighborhood, in my city. So, I'm cheap, man. I don't have a lot of money. So, YouTube doesn't pay anything. All right, guys. You guys want to do some outros? You got anything coming up there, General Banter?
I'm going to be getting back into it again. We're a slow time of season for my job. Paramedicine, you'd figure that'd be busy all the time, but true enough, it gets slow. So yeah, I'm going to be putting out some more stuff. I concentrate mostly on, like I said, creating knowledge. If it's putting up a chat, getting into a chat, creating dialogue, great. And like I said, all about being prepared. That's it. The chance favors the prepared mind. So that's the way to go. Thanks.
Are you starting any of those? And by the way, if you want to subscribe to the channel, the channel links are in the description box. But are you doing any of those series again? Because I know you have to bug out and all that stuff. Are you gonna start anything like that?
Yeah, I probably will go do that. I'm probably gonna bring back a couple of my old videos and redo them because they're good points, and I just want to bring them back to the surface again. So I'll redo them instead of bringing up an old video, and. Yeah, I like the series. I really did. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy a teaching platform. It's what I did back home for a year solid before I came out here. The law enforcement base, mind you, but I do like that platform. So love those series. They're fun to do, right? So there you go.
Yeah, definitely. I watch them. They're pretty cool. Pretty cool. And the thing that I like about it sometimes, man, that a lot of guys get concentrated on one thing. You need to get different amount of knowledge from different guys, just like training. You need to train with different guys because you may get a piece from this guy, a piece from this guy, and then come out with your own style, or you have different course of action. So
yeah, I'm big on giving the basics. Yeah, I'm big on giving the basics, and a lot like what you say on your homepage. And if I recall correctly, you don't endorse the fact of what you teach on your channel should be taken as biblical. It should be taken as, a starting point and go out and get real-time training. You know what I mean? And that's just it. This is why I don't want to get into a lot of gun stuff, because certainly I could. But it is not going to substitute for a good instructor there, because the instructor is going to be able to follow you along and say, you've almost got it, but you've got this one little part here that's kind of important. And if you learn it wrong, it's going to be wrong. So, like I said, it's I teach. What if if I can broadcast something, it's just the basics. Here's the basics. Adopt what you want, make it your own, make sure it works for you. Get out and do it and make sure it actually works. Because if it doesn't, you don't want to be in a bad situation and go, this isn't working, So there you go.
No, I agree, man. A lot of guys. The thing is too that a lot of the training out there is so expensive, man. You got companies out there charging $500 for a class, and then you have to bring 1,000 rounds. So easily going to learn how to shoot a pistol for 2 days could cost someone $2,000. $1,000, pretty easy. But yeah, I definitely think YouTube is a great platform for you to learn. But nothing replace formal training, man. Like you say, you want telling you, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong. Maybe try this. You have to, and that not only goes for the students, that goes for the training too, man. The trainers needs to constantly have certifications, annual certifications, and things like that to make sure they constantly learning and they constantly adapting to new things. So,
Right.
but
There's
yeah,
certain
definitely
things that
agree with
you
you.
don't have to. You don't have to go out and get a trainer for it. Firearms and tactical training that way, because quite frankly, I say to people, it's not enough to have your sidearm and go to the range and plink, plink, plink. That you definitely need to do that, okay? And but I think that there should be some tactical discoveries there at some particular point, and understanding that, because it's going to move fast if you're in a shooting scenario. The probability of you becoming that statistic is very, very small. You'd like to be prepared for it, and that's it. But fire making, you living out in the wilderness, for instance, for a day or two, that's something you don't necessarily need instruction on. But you can get that from YouTube and go out and do it. Make sure it's a safe environment. Bring a friend along with you and practice, because that can be, all you really need. But like I said, you can't read a book, you can't watch a video and say, okay, I got it. No, you need to apply it. You have to apply it. But like I say, some things you're going to need instruction on. And it doesn't hurt. Go get a first aid course, for instance. Getting the first aid kit is not enough. You really should go out and get a first aid course, so that somebody can say, you got the CPR close, but you got to tilt the chin back. You're forgetting that, and that's really important. Otherwise, the breaths are not going to get there. Something like that. So.
You learned something. My wife told me something about CPR yesterday that I didn't know, and I've been certified in CPR like 120 times. And I don't even remember what it was, but she said something that I was like, really? And it goes to like, you always learn, there's always something new.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Well, I've even said it, in courses that I said, look, you know what, if you're confused about the breaths, for instance, just do the compressions. If anything else, just do the compressions, because by just doing the compressions, the subject will get air. You know what I mean? It'll be minimal, but they will get air. Okay. Maybe not in all scenarios, but like I said, if you got to do something, and that can on again. Well, that's a whole other show, but yeah, there you go.
It's like Nick. He used to be handgun UV, and now he's like a superstar.
What?
Yeah, see?
You have the biggest YouTube channel out of all of us, so.
I'm sorry, man. Go ahead, man. You got anything going on?
I've haven't done the show for 3 weeks. Had 3 weeks off, and so just spun that back up with recorded an on target with Elfman Tactical, who has come out with some crazy stuff. Most notably an AK drop-in trigger and a shotgun push-button safety style for an AR. So we talked about that on that video. That's kind of cool. Then recorded 2 shows. One made a bunch of people butthurt. Top 10 things concealed carriers do wrong. And then just recorded a vehicle tactics with Steve Fisher from Sentinel Concepts.
Yeah. I saw that. That was pretty good.
So just spinning the show back up. Now that my work schedule is finally getting a little back to normal, and I can try to.
Man, I was watching. I mean, and I'm not endorsing anyone, but I was watching some guys the other day. I think it's called Sega Dynamics or something. But
Sage Dynamics.
Yeah, I think something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Aaron Cowan, yes.
Yeah, that guy was pretty square away.
Oh, he is a fantastic guy. I actually will hopefully have him on the show soon. But legitimate awesome, and just go check out his Facebook page where he just did he's wearing a horse head and dual wielding pistols, and then New York reloaded both pistols. It's just kind of just a cool video and funny.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of his video. He looks pretty locked down to me.
Yep, he's based out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, cool. Maybe I should go and train down there with those guys. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys watching. Definitely, we had like 34 guys, 20-something guys watching. Definitely, very, very cool. We definitely appreciate it. I appreciate the comments and the support, and you guys watching my videos and watching the videos here. If you haven't subscribed to Nick and General Banter, just go into the description box, and the links are there. And this is a pretty crazy topic. A lot of guys have a lot of opinions. Just make sure you stay alert, watch the news, be informed, because you never know when you're gonna have to make a decision. You never know when you have to stand up and talk and and don't be in the sideline. You know, be one of the guys speaking and you know, exercising your rights of freedom of speech and all that stuff. Just don't stay quiet. We definitely appreciate you guys watching. So until the next one, I guess God is in control.